Hey guys, welcome back to the Next Win podcast. My name is Justin Vaseur, and this is my co-host Aunt Ma.
What's up, everybody?
And today we're going to be talking about how an average Joe can get into real estate. But first, a word from our sponsors.
Today's sponsor is Zinju Chili Oil, a crunchy garlic chili oil, aka Chili Crisp.
And Zindru won the 2022 Scovie Awards. They got first and third place, right?
They got 2 awards. OG batch is the normal spice level. They actually got third place. And then X batch was their spiciest. For all you heat lovers out there, got first place in the Scovie Awards.
Wow. And they're also vegan, right?
They are vegan. And also Zinju Chili wants to send you guys a free 9-ounce jar. All you got to do is cover shipping. Go to their website, zinju.com, or click the link in our description box below and use the promo code WINNING to get your free 9-ounce jar. Thank you, Zinju Chili Oil, for sponsoring this video. All right, you know what? I'm going to start this off with a question.
Okay.
All right. What makes you think you're the average Joe?
Damn. All right. Well, can I bring it back a little bit?
Yeah, we're starting with the heavy hitters today.
Yeah. So I'll take it back to when I started my photography career, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. So back in 2013, that's when I was working multiple jobs. I think it was 3 jobs. And then at that time, I was able to save up like 25 grand, something like that.
That 25 grand is a lot of money. What did you do with that 25 grand?
All right. So what did I do with that 25 grand? Shortly after I acquired this $25,000 from saving, I took on photography full time. I was like, I need to get a studio. I want to get an apartment. I want to move out of my parents' house. And because I had no credit, I took some of that money, that $25,000, to pay for a couple months up front on the apartment / studio. Yeah.
So you were making good money starting out on your own as a photographer. Like, this is your own business that you're trying to do at the time?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I was making good money. I got a few gigs that were very exciting, and I did get paid some good money, but it wasn't consistent. You know what I mean? But I didn't have that realization. So I had this money, got my first apartment, and then shortly after, spending all that money for the down payment and all those things, I got no jobs.
How much was your down payment on an apartment?
Well, I had to put like 3 months down because I had no credit.
Okay.
So it was about, I think, 5 grand, 6 grand, something like that.
Okay, that's not too bad.
No, it wasn't too bad, but I did dip into my savings.
Yeah.
So shortly after even getting the apartment, I ended up having no gigs.
Yeah.
Because I didn't realize there's going to be times where there's no gigs coming in. The reality of that hit me pretty hard.
So what did you do?
I ended up using more of my savings to pay for that.
And what were you trying to save for?
I didn't have a specific goal for my savings. I just was always taught you need to save your money.
Yeah.
For retirement or whatever. It wasn't very specific. It was just like, work hard, save your money.
Don't you wish your parents would have told you to save that for a house?
Dude, after hearing your story and stuff, like,
yeah,
having 70 grand to, after you sold your business, to purchase a house. I wish using that money, I could have bought a house. You know what I mean?
Dude, with 25 grand, you could have bought something.
Yeah, exactly. Especially during that time.
Yeah.
It was stupid cheap back then. Which was, 2013?
That was like a 20% down on a good size home.
Yeah. And so towards the end of the lease, that's when I started to get more gigs. But by then I used maybe half of my savings. And then I moved into a house, got a decent amount of gigs. What's that?
That was also a rental?
That was also a rental, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then another stream of no gigs hit me right after that.
Ouch.
Then I had my car broke down, all these things. So I'm dipping into my savings again.
Yeah.
And then after the house, I moved into an apartment with my girlfriend for 6 months. But in the meantime, I've always had this grand plan where I wanted to move to LA.
Okay, so you're in Vegas at this time.
Yeah, I'm in Vegas at this time. Now living with my girlfriend in an apartment after that house. That's when I ended up getting an opportunity out in LA. and I was like, dude, this is like my dream.
Yeah.
So I moved out to LA with maybe $5,000 left in my
Wow.
savings. Yeah. And, during that whole time, it was just a struggle. So I moved to LA. Expenses are a little bit more.
Yeah.
I wasn't making that much more, but I was making it on a consistent basis now versus gig to gig.
Right.
I ended up getting a client that was paying me every month and made things a little bit easier for me.
Was it easier? Because living in LA is no joke. Like, it costs a lot to live there. So were you actually able to save during this time?
So I wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a little bit, but not even as close as I used to save. You know what I
Right.
mean? And it was easier in the sense of like I had that consistent income and I knew that money was coming in, but it wasn't easier because it was crazy expensive.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think from the time that I moved out, which was maybe 2018, something like that, till 2020, I was able to save up an extra few grand or something.
This time period of 2018 to 2020, is
Mhm.
this in LA?
Yeah, this is in LA.
Okay. So even before that, when you had all these apartments and houses in Vegas that you're renting out, that was like 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Of you doing your own photography business. And now you're out here in LA for 2 years in this photography business for 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
making decent money.
Yeah, making okay money.
Yeah.
But then 2020 hit, right? And at the beginning of 2020, I don't even know where I got this from, but I started hearing about crypto.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's everyone's hopes just like everyone's eyes just sparkled in 2020.
Yeah. So this was the beginning of 2020. This was right before crypto kind of crashed,
Yeah.
and there was a crazy opportunity
Yeah.
before it ran up. So I ended up putting like $1,000 or $1,200 into, I think it was called like Chainlink or something.
Okay.
And in a month, I doubled my money
Just like that.
just like that. And I was like, whoa, I've never had this before. This is kind of crazy. Let me get into it. Let me learn more about it.
And the addiction begins.
Yep. And the addiction begins. And so I started dumping some extra money in there into random stuff, making $200, $300.
Yeah.
I was like, this is kind of cool. And then the market crashed, right? I think Bitcoin went from like, I think it was 12K to 3K
Yeah.
that summer when COVID hit.
Yeah.
And so all my money was basically held up in that. During this crash, it was down 50%.
Wait a minute. So this is when you started realizing your mindset of investing, right?
Yeah.
And you had all this money in there, and you're saying that it crashed.
Mm-hmm.
Did you not utilize only some of that money or portion of your savings into investing, or you use all that money into investing?
Well, here's the thing. A lot of the stuff that I used at that time was actually profit from the beginning of the year.
Okay.
So I still had a decent amount of savings.
Oh, good.
I mean, not decent amount, but maybe I think it was like around 8,000 or something.
Okay.
And then the crash happened, you know, and then I think that's when everybody started to get a little,
You start panicking?
panicking or whatever the case may be. And I had no extra. I mean, I guess I had extra money to invest. But what I meant was, like I wasn't using my income anymore to invest. I was using my savings to invest during that crash time.
That's when it gets dangerous.
Yeah. That's when, like, I wasn't smart. I didn't have anybody around me to, help me with the decision. So this was all a learning process again.
Yeah.
And, just to, go back on things, I never had anybody teaching me about investing or putting money into houses or whatever. You know what I mean? It was always just save. And so I did see an opportunity and I jumped on it. and I put extra cash in there from my savings.
Into where?
Into crypto.
Okay.
And then I had a great run actually, because
Okay.
that was during that winter into the next year. That's when everything skyrocketed like crazy.
How much money did you make?
So with everything, I think I made over, I believe it was 35,000. Yeah,
Whoa.
35,000.
From starting at 1,200
Yeah.
to 35 grand.
Mm-hmm.
That's a crazy win.
Yeah, it was a stupid win.
Is that like 1 year or less?
I would say less than a year.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was my first ever, I guess, investing. I don't know if it was investing or gambling or whatever.
That was for sure investing.
So that was my experience. And then after that, we hit another crash.
Yeah.
And all my money was in there.
Okay.
So I went from that 35,000 back down, like we were down like 60%.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so you're talking about 10 to 15K, right?
Yeah.
Which is still a significant win from 1,200.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I don't have any savings. You know what I mean? Technically I have all my money in that, but I also don't know if I want to touch it because we don't know what the next run's going to be like or whatever. And during that time when I had all this money in there, I was using credit cards to purchase items and got myself into a little debt.
Okay.
You know? So
because you didn't have cash to spend because it was in crypto.
yeah, I was just putting all my cash in there.
I feel you, man.
It was just poor money management or just not knowing how to really invest or even take out profits. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, when it goes to 35 grand and it goes all the way down, you always think it's going to go back up again.
Yeah.
So you don't want to take it out.
Mm-hmm.
I know that feeling too because I went through it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had 100 grand at one point that was invested in the crypto and stocks,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's all the way down to 30.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to sell any of it because I know it's going to be a loss.
Yeah.
It would just be plain stupid. So I feel you. Like now you're using credit cards to buy stuff because you want to keep your investment money in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like that could be smart or stupid.
Yeah. And I think right now, talking with all my friends who have invested in properties or done other investments like in businesses or whatever, I see where I'm at right now. And, seeing this debt, I'm kind of like, why did I do that? Why did I kind of overspend? Because I also had that mentality of like, I have this money in crypto. I could just take this out whenever I need to pay off everything. So it made me spend a little bit more than what I usually would.
I see, yeah.
And then, the whole market crash thing happened, and I'm like, oh, snap, okay. Now I have this debt that I'm, paying off, and it's just been a crazy journey.
You know what that reminds me of is when I was younger and you would go to Vegas to gamble and, you would go with gambling money and then you lose it all in the first hour,
Mm-hmm.
right? All in blackjack,
Yeah.
you lose it.
Yeah.
And you're like, damn, there goes my whole weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, wait a minute, I got some credit cards. Cash advance. And so that's kind of what it sounds like. You kind of did like a cash advance type thing here where
Mm-hmm.
you shouldn't really use that money for anything. You
Right.
should never take it out. And then you did.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you do differently now from this experience that you've learned?
What would I do differently?
Yeah.
Not spend so much money on my credit cards,
Yeah.
but also make sure I have a good savings. I think it's just been a wild journey learning these processes, and I'm ready to move forward and make the next win, I guess.
So are you thinking that, like, if you had all that money again,
Mm-hmm.
would you invest it in crypto again or would you invest in real estate?
I think I would invest it in real estate.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it would have been a lot safer move for me.
Yeah.
And I would have been in a better place, having a home, all those things. And then even though for some it might be a scary idea to invest in real estate, knowing what I know now and talking to you and a few other people, I would have definitely bought a home.
One thing that I'm thinking about right now
Mm-hmm.
is in 2018, you bought your first crypto,
Yep.
right? And made big money,
Mm-hmm.
and it crashed.
Mm-hmm.
Real estate in 2020, or actually real estate in just last year, 2022, also quote unquote crashed.
Right.
What they call is, in better terms, is a correction.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you bought a home prior to last year, you would be down money as well, right? But if you bought a home in 2013 when you first started,
When I had that $25,000,
you would have money now,
Yeah.
because if you sold the home, you get equity.
Mm-hmm.
If you bought a home in 2018, and if you sold, you would also have equity. But if you just bought last year, you won't have equity right now.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying is, every time you had a big chunk of money, you could have bought a home and be in a better position now.
Yeah, exactly. So that was my realization.
Yeah.
I had all these opportunities to purchase an asset, purchase a home, and I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Maybe I was thinking about making quick money or getting rich or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that comes from just, wanting to bring something new to, I guess, my family or whatever the case may be. But now having that realization of having this chunk of money, buying a home, I guess approaching it in a lot safer ways,
Yeah.
would be the best opportunity for me. So I'm trying to get out of this kind of hellhole a little bit. Not that it's bad. It's not a crazy situation. I just feel like prior to 2020, I wasn't in this situation.
Yeah.
I was, even though I was dipping into my savings before that, I didn't have any debt. I wasn't using credit cards or anything like that. And so now, having all these things, I want to get back to that. So I want to start, I'm giving myself, I think 5 months to pay everything off and then start stacking.
I think that's an excellent goal.
Mm-hmm.
5 months comes by very fast.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think you're actually in a great position right now than before. You've had money, you've lost money, but now you realize what your priorities are, or what you want to, dip into, which is the real estate market. And, in 5 months, you could have a home. Actually, you could probably buy a home right now if you wanted to. It's just seems like right now you have a different priority and different focus.
Yeah.
In your own personal opinions of what you want to do with that money first.
Right. Yeah. I mean, even though I have some debt, I still feel like my credit score is good. I haven't gotten into any trouble with that or anything. So I could potentially qualify without me knowing, but
I'm sure you can.
But at the same time, I do want to knock out all this debt, and work on the savings a little bit more for sure.
So you rather pay off your credit card right now than buy a condo?
I don't know. What would you suggest? Because that's kind of giving me some ideas.
I think the best time to buy property is when you can afford it. So that means when you talk to a lender and they tell you qualify, then most likely you can afford it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't qualify, you definitely can't afford a home.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes, you may think you have a lot of debt, but it might not be that much.
Mm-hmm.
There's people out there that they have car debt.
Yeah.
Then they have student loans.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have credit cards. They have all kinds of debt.
Yeah.
For you, you might just have a credit card and a small car payment.
Yep.
And
that's basically what it is.
That's the average Joe. That's the everyday person.
Yeah.
And an everyday person can buy a home with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying, I think you can buy a home right now too.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, what would you say would be the next steps, I guess?
Speak to a lender.
Okay.
email me at vegashomes@gmail.com so I can hook you up with my lender that all my clients use. The Zinju chili is a crunchy garlic chili oil, aka chili crisp.
And what's really cool about the chili is that it's vegan.
Yes.
They have 2 batches. They have the OG batch, which is the normal spicy level, and then they have the X batch, which is really, really spicy. You've had it?
It's very spicy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Which one's your favorite?
I love the OG batch just
Okay.
because I can put it on everything. Guys, Zinju Chili will send you guys a free 9-ounce jar. All you got to do is cover shipping. So go to their website, zinju.com, or click the link in our description box and use a promo code WINNING for your free chili jar. See if you qualify. That's always the first step.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the most important thing that every agent should do for their clients is making sure we find a comfortable budget for our clients.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not just about buying and selling homes and then getting that commission check. Like, I want to make sure in 6 months or a year or several years down the road that my clients are still happy and comfortable and not stressing like, oh man, I cannot make these payments anymore. I got to foreclose. I'm in more debt. You can't put people in that situation. Like, you're just a bad person if you do that, you know? So, you know, it's all about being in that comfortable budget and sticking with it.
Yeah. I also feel like I'm kind of starting late.
Why do you think that? How old are you right now?
I'm 31.
I think I bought my first house, I don't remember, 30, 32,
Really?
something like that.
Okay.
So I don't think you're starting late. There's a ton of people who are buying homes in their 30s or even after they have kids.
Yeah.
You know, you're not even married yet
Mm.
and you want to buy a home.
Yeah.
So I think you're pretty early in your life. Everyone's situation is different.
True.
In your situation, I think you're early. People don't buy homes until they're married.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's been a crazy journey, so I'm like really excited to get this started, you know?
Are you saying that you're gonna get married right now? That's why you're trying to buy a home?
Yeah, in the next few months, I would say.
Damn!
I'm trying to pop the question.
Really?
Yeah.
Does she know that?
Don't. She's
gonna find
scratch
out.
It, scratch it. Yeah. Nah, I mean she knows that. She knows.
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah.
Okay. So
It's still gonna be a surprise, but
yeah, because she doesn't know when it's coming. She
Yeah.
doesn't know what kind of ring she's getting.
so that's
But-
another big move that's happening this year.
Okay.
You know.
So that's actually a question I get from a lot of my clients. You
What's
know,
that?
my clients, they say, hey, I want to buy a home, but I just popped the question to my fiance
Mhm.
and we want to save up for a wedding. Should we, you know, do the whole wedding thing or should we buy a home?
Mm.
And I always tell them, you know, it depends on what makes you happy. You
Got
know,
it.
yeah, you can spend the money, 20, 30 grand on a wedding and then save up and then buy a home later. But it might be a little bit harder because now you got to go back to ground zero
Mhm.
and repeat the process before you can buy a home in terms of saving money. All right. So, you know, I'm going to bring it back a little bit.
Yeah.
You had this realization of, I got to make a change,
Mhm.
right? Invest in real estate. Now, in 5 months from now, are you going to buy this home to live in or to rent out?
I feel like I'm still exploring my options a little bit and still learning a little bit more. But I do like the idea of cash flow.
Yeah.
So renting sounds like a good option.
So, you want to continue renting where you live and then buying a rental to rent out to someone else, right?
Yes.
I think that's great. A lot of people are like, why am I going to rent my own place and then buy another one? You know? And I think it's great because especially right now today, the market has slowed down and it's corrected itself. We're talking about $100,000 less than what it was last year for homes.
Right.
Right. So if you bought a home right now, you know, in 5 months, when the market goes back up in about 2 years or so, you're definitely going to make a lot of money off that home.
Right.
And I'm talking about not just the equity of it if you were to sell it, but if you were to keep it and keep renting it. So, for example, right now when you buy this $300,000 home and it's renting for, let's just say, $1,200,
Right.
right? And every month that's what it's worth. When all the home prices increase, you can start increasing your rent, right? So now if your rent is $1,800 a month or $2,000 a month, that's when the cash flow really kicks in.
I see.
You're talking about making, $500 a month.
Mm-hmm. And then from there, 2 years later, 2 years later after that, could probably sell the property too if I wanted to.
You can sell the property and upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
You can probably sell it and buy one for yourself and a rental again.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can just accumulate that cash flow
Oh yeah, true.
and buy something too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people say to do the BRRRR method.
What
BRRRR
is
is buying a home, right? Renovating it or remodeling it, renting it out, and then repeating the process.
that?
Meaning that when they buy it and they're done fixing it up and renting it out for long term, a year or more, they're going to take out a home equity line of credit, also known as a HELOC,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to take that loan out of the house and buy another property. And then they're going to keep repeating that process by leveraging their equity in every single property that they buy.
Oh wow.
Then there's other people like me that say, don't do that.
Why?
Don't ever take out that HELOC to buy another property.
Really?
Well, I think it depends on every person and your strength and how much self-control you have.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you really are going to use that money to buy something else, like that home, that's great. But a lot of times that doesn't happen. People will take out that loan and they're going to use that money to buy a car. Or maybe an emergency happens and they got to pay for a hospital bill.
Mm-hmm.
Like, thank God they had that money to pay for a hospital bill. But now that money is gone. You don't have that second home you're going to buy and you're back in debt.
Like me.
So, I mean, you're not in debt.
No, I mean, it'd just be taking it back a step. You know what I mean? Versus moving forward towards that next win.
Yeah.
Mm.
So you don't want to get yourself in trouble by doing those investing methods,
Mm.
because you never know where the money's going to go.
Mm.
Shit happens all the time,
Yeah.
right? So that's the biggest thing about taking money out of your own house. Don't do it.
Interesting. I've always heard the opposite for sure. A lot of people are taking money out of their house to do this, to do that, to do whatever.
That's what I've always thought too my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
My father, he's a businessman, and he would always take out loans out of the house to buy a business all the time. And he's never told me, but I've seen it when we've had to move and downgrade.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I'm in this business, I know why. It's because the investment didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
So it really depends. Everybody's different. If you can use the money and buy something, sure, but be prepared if something's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you gotta be prepared for those moments.
I see. Okay.
Like, I even thought about taking money out of my house and buying, a business, a shop, a restaurant.
Yeah.
But I haven't yet. I might rather sell the home and downgrade and then, do that. That way, if the business goes sour, I lost all that money. That's fine. But I still have my house.
Right.
I don't have debt.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The money's just gone.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean I got to keep paying it back.
Right.
So I'd rather do that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like there's a lot of people talking about that. You could do this with that money and all that stuff, and you make it sound. I mean, the way you just worded it, I feel like that's the more comfortable route, at least in my perspective. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Everyone's situation is different.
Yeah, of course.
And you got to cater it to what fits you best.
Mm.
Yeah.
How about like the interest rates right now. Like what I've always heard this thing where it's like, what is it? It's like marry
Marry the house and date the rates.
marry the house, date the rate.
Yeah.
So what is that about?
What they're saying is, don't think about the rate. Just buy the house that you like, because the rate you can always refinance later when things get better. But the house, at least you have the home. Because if you don't buy the home, someone else is.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously you're gonna look for the home that you really want, that fits everything that you want. You know,
And can afford.
Yeah. Do you have an idea of what kind of house you want?
Yeah, a house like this.
What do you? They don't have no idea what we are right now.
No, I do have an idea. Honestly, I'm not really a person who needs a big home, or I think for me would be what I would want is more of a backyard than anything. Just to like play with my kids and all those things.
I'm gonna be an uncle.
Yeah. Actually, maybe sooner than you think.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What are you not telling me right now?
There's a lot of surprises coming your way.
Are you serious? Okay.
But yeah, I think for me, I'm not the type of person to go super grand with it.
Yeah.
I just want like a nice, comfortable home. Maybe 3 to 4 bedroom or something like that. Maybe 2,500 square feet.
I think a 4-bedroom home is a big house. 2,500 square feet is also a big house.
I see. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just comparing it to like my parents' house.
Okay.
And I think their house is 2,100 square feet.
Yeah.
And it does, maybe it's just a layout or something. It does feel a little like cramped, even though there's a lot of bedrooms and stuff.
Yeah.
I really like high ceilings. I like it to feel open. As long as it feels like that, I guess it doesn't really matter the square footage. I just want it to feel open, you know, and then
I forget that your mindset is because you've lived in Vegas your whole life to where for me, I lived in LA my whole life, and our homes are half the size of yours is out here.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, wait a minute.
And triple the prices of the...
Right? So when you're talking about, oh, I don't want a big home, just 4 bedroom, 2,500 square feet.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, that's huge.
Yeah.
I came from a 750 square feet, 2 bedroom, 1 bath home for the same prices that you're talking about.
Yeah. It's crazy. Crazy perspectives. But yeah, I think land is what is most important to me.
Okay.
So that's what I'm kind of looking at.
You know, out here in Vegas, you can buy land right now that has nothing.
Yeah.
Eventually, someone's going to buy that off you.
Mm-hmm.
But it might be 10 years from now.
Yeah, true.
You know, I think about it. Every time I'm driving in Vegas, I see all this land, and I'm like, what can I do with this dirt? Do I want to wait for this big corporation to buy it? You know, do I want Raising Cane's to buy this land?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but how long is it going to take for them to do that?
Dude, Pahrump, have you seen Pahrump?
Hey, they got like 2 or 3 signal lights now.
They're
coming up.
Yeah, they're coming up. That might be the next type of like Joshua tree, something. I don't know, something crazy.
If you guys are not familiar with the Vegas area, Pahrump, how far is Pahrump from Vegas?
Maybe an hour and a half, something like that.
It's a very rural area.
Mm-hmm.
Not many people live there. As a real estate agent in Vegas, anytime I talk to my peers, they say, hey, if you get a client for Pahrump, never take it.
Wow. Okay.
Give it to someone who specializes in it.
Wow.
Because it's that special. You know, you're talking about a city that has 3 signal lights. Like, what do they do out there?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there might be some potential there in the future, especially if Vegas is like expanding like this.
Is that the next win? Buying Pahrump?
It might be. I don't know. We'll see. I feel like somebody has to create some type of oasis or something out there. Something to get everybody out there. Whether it's like some Joshua tree type of thing where they have these Airbnbs, or I don't know.
How about like Mount Charleston?
That's cool too.
Don't they have cabins out there?
They do have cabins out there. It's really nice.
Like, that's the next Big Bear, right?
It could be the way the city's growing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're so close to other states. Like Utah is a short 2-hour drive, and there's so many people that are moving to just the border of Utah, right? You got St. George, and then you got was it Bryan Head? You know, like people are going there just for vacations, and I feel like that's the next area to invest in. Coming from Nevada.
Yeah, I mean, I'm jotting these down, bro. You know, maybe maybe I'll be moving out there. You never know.
I don't want you to.
Why?
Because we're doing this podcast together. And then
I-
and I'm
I
gonna be an uncle.
It's only an hour or two.
No, I want to
I'm
see.
just kidding.
I want to see my nephews and nieces.
No, I'll be around. But also too, like lately, we've kind of been not house shopping, just dreaming, I guess.
Yeah.
Looking at different stuff, and right now, we were looking at 3-story homes, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why do you like 3-story homes? I feel tired just thinking about 3-story home.
Yeah, I mean, I've lived in a 3-story home before, and it actually wasn't that bad. I actually liked it because at this time we were living with some roommates, and we were at the bottom floor. They were at the very top floor, and it felt very separated. And then the middle living space was the common area, and our idea was to have the bottom floor kind of like a business space for my girl. I think she's gonna be wanting to start her own business and all that stuff, and I think it would be a great opportunity to turn that into a space, especially if it feels like it's away.
That's a great investment.
Yeah.
So pretty much one of the floors can be for making money as a business or making money as a rental.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
Like someone can rent it out and have their own space downstairs. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I could be wrong, but I feel like I heard somewhere that like the younger generation are into 3-story homes more than the older generation kind of thing. Yeah. But I could be wrong.
Oh, let me ask my kids. She's only 5 though.
But you know, there might be an opportunity there for like to rent it out later.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that was just the idea of like turning the bottom floor into a space for work, and then using the top levels for obviously living.
That's very cool.
Yeah, and I've been seeing some dope homes for cheap.
Like
I mean,
how
not
much?
cheap, but
How much?
all right, not cheap.
Let the
But-
secret out. Let everyone know how much you can get a 3-story home in Vegas for.
So I saw a few starting at 400,000,
Okay, yeah, that's cheap.
and the dream home.
Yeah.
There was one that was all ready to buy straight up.
Yeah.
Ready to move in and all that stuff for, I think like high 700s.
Double the price.
It doubled the
Almost.
price, but also double. It was like over 4,000 square feet.
Wow.
4,000 square feet.
I don't even know what I would do with a house that big.
Yeah.
Like
Like
how
it-
you're talking about high ceilings in a 4,000 square feet home. How am I gonna get the spider webs in the corner of the home?
Yeah. It was wild. It was literally like, in terms of a 3-story home, it was my dream home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not my dream home in the sense of like the big backyard, whatever, but the setup, the way it was, like the way the bottom floor was laid out,
Yeah.
the way the living room and the kitchen was laid out, to the upstairs, like it had what is it called when they have the roof made to go up there?
Rooftop patio.
Yeah, it was
loft.
like a rooftop patio,
Yeah.
and there was like a balcony from the master bedroom.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was super crazy. And like, because I think square footage and just what you get for the home,
Yeah.
and it felt like that was a crazy deal. You know, because
Yeah.
I'm
It is.
seeing homes that are like 3,000 square feet for $1 million, 1.2 or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's obviously because of the area and their new homes. But this was a new home too. It was just in a different area.
That's where your investment mind is coming in. When people are investing, they are definitely looking at the price per square footage.
Mm-hmm.
So you're totally right on that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're getting your bang for your buck.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, does that layout fit everybody's needs when you're investing? But because it's for yourself,
Yeah.
yeah, that's great. You know,
Yeah.
for me, I can't do such high ceilings as much as I want to. I think until Dyson can create 4 vacuums for me to connect each single hose to go up to that corner and get the spider web, I can't do it.
Yeah. What I love about Zinju chili is that you can basically put it on anything.
Yeah, they don't use traditional Asian ingredients like fermented black beans or Szechuan peppercorns. So you can literally put it on every food.
Yeah, I put it on my eggs, put it on my tacos. I even use it for barbecue sauces.
Damn, there you go,
Yeah,
man.
it's amazing.
So the owners, Zin and Andrew,
Mm-hmm.
they actually use it on In-N-Out burgers too.
No way. I got to try that.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
down. So guys, go to our link in the description box or go to zinju.com. Use promo code WINNING to get your free jar of Zinju chili.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just my thing.
That's awesome, man.
I've always had this. I've always been into like really tall ceiling lofts.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. They feel so open. When you walk in there, you just feel more free, you know? But just hearing what you want in a home tells me that there's a home for everyone out there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know?
Mm-hmm. So, as I'm doing this dreaming or house shopping, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Um,
You're doing this on like Zillow?
Yeah, Zillow, just for
That's
fun.
what everybody uses right now.
Yeah, you just pinpoint your location and just see what's out there.
You know, I'm a realtor and I use Zillow.
Is Zillow like a bad thing or?
I mean, they're not that accurate.
I see.
And then, you know, realtors have an MLS system where they can, there's certain homes that aren't on Zillow that are on MLS.
Mm-hmm.
But I make it easy now where I have clients and I tell them, just send me your Zillow stuff and I'll send you Zillow, you know, properties as well. I don't need to sign them up on this MLS system anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But we, I was just curious. Like I was looking on the strip and there's hotels selling condos.
Yes. High rises.
Yeah.
High rise luxury living.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that. So they have those in Aria.
Yeah. Aria.
And you live at the top of the tower.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be like, you know, 1,000 square feet, 2 bed, 1 bath. And you see the whole strip. It's amazingly beautiful, but it's very expensive because it's luxury living.
Yeah, but I'm also curious about the opportunities. You know what I mean? Because there's a place called Palms Place.
Yeah.
And I used to have my birthday parties there all the time. The hotels were amazing. And there was one that was, I think it was maybe 1,000 square feet.
Yeah.
And it's selling for $300,000 right now. And I was like, that's pretty interesting.
You want to live in it or you want to invest in it?
Maybe invest in it.
But you can't Airbnb it.
I don't know. I've been seeing some properties saying Airbnb ready or something like that.
So from what I know is that now we got to get an Airbnb expert in here.
Yeah.
In one of these episodes.
Yeah.
And I know of a guy.
Okay.
So we'll hope to get him on here.
Yeah.
But what I know is that in Clark County, you can no longer do Airbnbs. If you apply for the permit, it's a lottery system.
I see.
So you have to apply, and then by any chance you win the lottery, you can get the permit to Airbnb.
Mm-hmm.
If not, you cannot.
I see.
But there's a lot of people who are illegally Airbnb-ing their places. So that's the deal here in Vegas with Airbnbs.
Just got to do like some research and
yeah, for the most
it's going to
part,
be difficult.
you can't do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Outside of Clark County, you can.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're talking about maybe Henderson, right? Pahrump.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and then another one that I saw.
Yeah.
There's a spot called Panamera, something like that. What?
I don't know.
Panamera? How do you say that?
Panorama?
Yeah, Panorama. Yeah, yeah.
That's the only time I heard of it.
Yeah, I think that's what it's called. I don't know why. I was probably thinking of the Porsche.
Panoramic sunroof. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a place right off the strip. Super high luxury type of style living. And it was a smaller spot. I think it was like 700 square feet, but you have like a view of the strip.
Yeah.
And I was just looking at the pricing history. And a while back, like the first time it sold was, I think 700,000, right?
What is it now?
It's 230,000 right now.
500K from wow.
And I'm like, how does that happen?
I don't know. They must have. I don't know. They were trying for something. They're hustling it. It doesn't mean that when it was at 700,000, that's what it was worth.
Right.
That
So-
they just tried it.
I see.
Maybe I have no idea about that area, or I mean that tower or that building. Maybe it's a building where all the Raider guys go to, or athlete trainers, or whoever comes and visits, and that's why they tried it.
Yeah, I don't know. This was a few years back, and it was always, at least for me, every time I drove by it, I'm like, dang, this is a rich spot. This is crazy. And then seeing this property or a couple properties actually selling lower than what they sold before, I'm like, what does this mean? Is this an investment opportunity, or is it a sign of like, hey, maybe you shouldn't buy this? Because if it went from 700, 500 to 230, I'm like,
Buy the dip.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Buy
And
the dip.
It's a cool little space. It's got natural, like big windows, natural lighting. It is a smaller spot, and I think it is a studio. Might be a 1-bedroom.
Yeah.
But I was like, yo, I did hear that the HOA or whatever the fees are is like $700 a month.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably includes a lot of utilities.
Yeah.
And it also probably has pool, stuff like that. When HOAs cost that much, I don't know if it's worth it. A lot of times it is because it involves a lot of amenities. But I think it's a great idea to possibly, buy one of those high rises and invest in it for rentals. I for sure, well, for me, I don't know if I would do that, because when I buy a home for a rental, I want the options to be short-term rentals or long-term rentals,
Right.
or a flip. But with a high rise, you can do all of those, but the majority of it is going to be short-term rentals. And it might be a personal opinion, but the reason why I wouldn't want to do long-term rentals is just based off my own experience of people living in those type of homes. They go crazy. There's no yard. You're stuck in this room, almost like if you were COVID and stuck in your house all the time, right? And so living in that type of space for a year or longer really does something to you.
I see.
You don't get that fresh air. It's not normal, right? It's just a place that you want to try before you get married or something.
Yeah.
Right, with your boys, right?
Well, what I was thinking was like the Formula Ones and all these games and all that stuff, and people staying on the strip. I'm like, what opportunities are there?
Well, when there are big events happening in Vegas, just like this past, just like how we had the Super Bowl, Super Bowl's not even here in Vegas, but the hotels are sold out. And people are looking, where else can I stay? When you go to the hotel and they have the sports book downstairs at the casino, and usually you just get to sit there and watch the game. During Super Bowl, they're charging hundreds of dollars just for a seat.
Yeah.
That's how crazy it is. So, you know what? I'm going to tell you guys this right now. Super Bowl 2024 is going to be in Las Vegas. Buy your damn investment now. Buy it now. Because a lot of things are going to be done building by then. And all eyes are on Vegas. And people are going to be like, maybe we can live here too. Maybe we should buy something here too. Well, you know what? Buy it before everyone else thinks that too.
Yeah. And I'm prepping for that. I'm trying to prep for that,
Vegas is the next place for you, man. You lived here your whole life, and I think investing in here would be great. So good luck to you on that. I'm down to help you out, and anyone else who is also interested, you can comment down below and email at vegashomes@gmail.com or thenextwinpodcast@gmail.com, and we can help you guys out. Also, if you guys have any questions for Justin or myself, make sure to write them in the comments, and we'll respond to them in the next podcast episodes. And I hope, thank you for sharing your story today.
Yeah, man. Thank you for the
I've-
opportunity. Yeah, it was
I've
fun.
learned a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that I didn't know what we could do until, you brought it out of me.
Make sure to follow us on our social medias, Justin Vaseur, Vaseur, and
Antma, Antma.
don't forget to check out our sponsors. The link is in the bio, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace out, guys. Don't forget to check out our sponsor, Zinju Chili. They're going to send you a 9-ounce jar for free. All you got to do is go to their website, zinju.com, or click the link in our description box below and put in that promo code WINNING for your free 9-ounce jar. Thank you, Zinju Chili, for sponsoring this video.